pie you have to make with the cooked dough pumpkin, and then there's anything goes.
Okay,
I mean, drawing.
So you can,
I can do that, that's pretty good.
The girls out of hospital said they miss you.
I know, I'm only on down one time. But
I got it.
She's a young
That was Lou's idea.
But come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps, sweet Lebanon. Catfish John was a river hobo, lived and died.
I never heard that song before, did you? I never heard that song before. Did you?
I still remember I was proud to be his friend. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around no Catfish John. But come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps, sweet Lebanon. Let me dream of another morning, of a time so long ago, where the sweet magnolia blossomed, the cotton fields were white as snow. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. But come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps, sweet Lebanon. Walking in his footsteps, sweet Lebanon.
Huey, and they're going to be playing on the Heritage Days. And who else do you have that's going to play music?
we also have the Remnant Church Worship Group is going to be playing at Lions Park. Who else do we have down at Big Field, Gene? We usually have bluegrass players down at Big Field. I don't know the names of the
Okay,
bands.
that's all right. So there'll be lots of music.
Lots of music. We have
Thank you, Rosie, thank you, Sam.
We have
Sam
several.
wants to go home now and rest.
I may bring my
Because
fiddle.
he's very tired. Are you going to play the fiddle down there too?
I may bring my fiddle and play small time square dance music.
Cool.
Mandolin.
Good.
Yay.
And we have some street musicians who'll be strolling around
Okay.
uptown, just playing.
So our town's going to be booming. That's going to be.
Thank you all.
To the 27th.
Thank you, guys. So now, we're going to have, now which one of you got?
Leslie.
Leslie got to tell us.
Leslie got the draw.
Okay. And she's going to tell us about zombies?
Zombies, I think. Yeah, zombies. Zombies.
A quilt
Okay, you can
zombie?
start with the quilts and then go to the
A quilt
zombies.
zombie?
I think so.
I don't know, maybe somebody should make a zombie quilt. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
But
that would.
on October 26th for Rural Heritage Days, it'll be our third year hosting the Quilt Club with all of their wonderful creations. And this year it'll be at the Linden House. So it'll take over a whole
Bye,
room.
guys.
And the hallway and the white picket fence on the east side of Main Street, just across from the Bulgic House. So I know the ladies in the Quilt Guild are very excited, and they
They're
bring
very
really,
talented.
And we need
They're
everybody
amazing.
to pray that it does not rain.
that would be good.
Beautiful weather.
We don't
Yeah.
want rain either,
Oh,
not
no.
on that day, but
Not
the
on
day
that day.
before would be okay.
And the day after.
And the day after would be all
Yeah,
right.
because we need the rain.
Hey, who is this, Don? Don is the one that controls that, remember?
Oh, that's right. If it doesn't happen that way, get Don Pritchard,
He'll
I
make it
would-
not rain.
because he makes it rain and not rain.
He
Really?
thinks he does.
So if he
Really?
announces
But,
that
you know-
it will rain, it won't?
Yes, yes.
Or he can just change where the radar is on the screen, is that how it
Yes,
works?
I think that's the way it works. I think.
That's awfully powerful for one guy.
Don, you
Okay.
can call us.
Okay, Leslie, go ahead.
So this year, for the second year in a row, we're going to have at the Bolduc House a Boussiage and French Colonial Zombie Festival on Saturday, October the 26th. So after you get sick of being at our place, just go down the street to one of the Rural Heritage Days awesome places. And in the evening, this leads directly to
Exactly.
to what's going to happen in the cemetery. So what is a Boussiage French Colonial Zombie Festival and loup-garou hunt?
Who ever heard of it?
What?
What?
I know speaky French.
Well, it all started because when I have a group of school children on the front porch of the Bolduc House, I tell them to say boo. And then I tell them that they've been talking French because boo is the French word for mud. And in between those hand-hewn vertical logs, we have a mixture of mud and straw and animal hair chinking, and it's called Boussiage. And so for a while I've been thinking, well, we've got to do something with that word for October. So on October 26th, like last year, visitors to the Bolduc House are invited to help us replace some of the Boussiage on the historic Louis Bolduc House with mud and straw and animal hair, just like they used to. And if you come dressed as a zombie, a French colonial zombie is the best kind of zombie.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
then you get in for half price. We're going to eat bloody s'mores. We're going to be cooking in our bread oven.
It sounds good.
I might, if I can figure it out, I might cook like
bread.
witch's feet, bread. I think that would be.
Witch's feet?
Yeah, Hansel and Gretel stuffed that witch into the oven, and then her feet would be,
I bet they wouldn't
see
say
how
like
you could do that. Yeah.
I don't know if we can come up with the witch's feet, but that's what I'm hoping. And we're going to have zombie karaoke, thanks to Gary Borisoff from the Spirit House. And in the afternoon, last year, there was a loup-garou, which is French for werewolf.
Werewolf, I knew that.
Yes, it was very important. And the French militia in the 18th century would definitely have not left their homes without the proper protection against a werewolf. And it would be a silver bullet etched with a cross, probably dipped in holy water. And they would also
That's part
have
of it.
a page out of the prayer book for a patch when
Were
they...
they related to the Lone Ranger?
No, actually,
Oh, he had a silver
I
bullet.
thought it was a steak.
well, that's for vampires.
Oh,
Yeah.
vampire.
These are
What's
for-
the difference in a vampire and a zombie?
Oh, no, we're talking about a werewolf.
Werewolf.
Oh,
You see,
Loup-garou is werewolf.
loup-garou is a
They
French
changed the
colonial
subject.
werewolf. No, it's a mix. It's a Boussiage, French colonial zombie, and loup-garou, a festival with a
it's
loup-garou
just a
hunt.
scary bunch of people.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
in the 18th...
I'm staying in the cemetery with all the dead
There
people
you go.
rather than come down to that.
Yeah, you like costumes too much.
Yeah.
In the 18th century, the French Catholics really did think that if you're a Catholic person and you didn't go to Mass on Christmas Eve, or you didn't take communion on Easter,
You go to hell.
Yeah.
or I'm just telling you what they said. Or if you didn't go to confession for 7 years in a row,
Whoa.
you might be turned into a werewolf. And then it would be the militia's job to go hunting for you, because you're roaming in the woods from midnight till dawn every
Yeah.
day in this cursed state.
Yeah.
You'd be very, very tired. And so it's the militia's duty to find and wound the werewolf just enough so that they shed one drop of blood, and that will deliver them from the curse. So there are some clues about what werewolves look like. So if
okay.
you come to the Bolduc House on the 26th of this month and you want to participate in a loup-garou hunt, we will have the clues that will help you to identify what this werewolf might look like. And last year we planted garlic. I think we're going to do that again. So anyway, it's our October festival.
Sure.
So come on.
Do we have to
Sounds
shoot
like
him?
goofy
Yeah.
fun.
If we see him, do we have to shoot him?
No, last year, the French militia actually helped us,
Oh,
and they're
okay.
fully armed. We just have to get one of them to participate. Hopefully, they'll be there, or we may have to arm ourselves, I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know that a lot of the guys in the militia are gonna be involved down on the
So that's what they
big
needed
field.
the silver candlesticks for, when they asked for my silver candlesticks. They're melting them down for silver
Who
bullets.
asked for your silver
Those police
candlesticks?
guys, you know?
I don't know. I have actually, there's a blacksmith who's making me some pewter bullets, so they are silver.
Yeah.
And they're etched with a cross, and they will be available in our shop soon. So if you need a werewolf
Is
bullet.
Stan Winkler making these?
No, it's a guy from
Oh.
out of state.
I was gonna say,
If we-
if it's Stan, well, I don't know.
Crazy, funny, fun. But you know what? It's fun. It's
It is
part of the
fun.
heritage.
Sure.
And it leads, our period is a little too early for Rural Heritage Days, like by about 75 years or so. So, we're setting it up. And
But
then,
that's okay.
yeah, so then people can go and see all the sausage and pumpkins and,
And,
Oh, all the many
apples
things.
and the
Apple
caramel.
cider, yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
good stuff.
Lots of good stuff. Lots of
And then
good
you
stuff that
end up
day.
at the cemetery.
At the cemetery, right.
And what's going on there, Miss Mickey?
We're having another spirit reunion. And with this, I'm trying to figure out, I've been trying to think back. I think we started these about 10 or 11 years ago. And a couple years we did one or two more. So I'm going to just guess that this is our 15th spirit reunion in the cemetery.
How many people participate now?
Well, I think that we're up, it's always, you never know who's going to show up.
Oh, okay.
But we're up close to 20 spirits
Oh,
in
great.
there.
Wow,
And
that's
every
great.
year, somebody comes and says, can I do it next year? Please, 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 can I do
Oh,
it?
nice.
And we're always happy for anybody that's interested to join us. And,
I could play a dead person?
yes, you certainly could.
You have to learn
You
a lot
don't-
though, Mary.
You don't even have to get shot with a silver bullet
That
to
would be
come
good.
be a spirit.
Well, the
Yeah.
wouldn't have been killed.
No, you wouldn't want
you
to
gotta
kill the
learn a lot of
loup-garou,
stuff.
but.
No, you just
Yeah.
want to deliver them
Yes,
from
absolutely. We'd love to have you, Mary Ann. That would be great. We can even get you set up for this year. It's not too late. It's not too late. Never
You can use
too
a
late.
recorder on your thing.
The thing we want to emphasize, and we have from the beginning, it's not actors doing this. It's people telling somebody's life story, and it's not even a scary thing. We're not trying to have people in the cemetery getting scared and running from the ghost or anything. We have our spirits all over the cemetery, and they each have their own lantern, and we give lanterns to the people coming through so that they have their light to go through the cemetery, and just hear history from the people that lived it. And everybody lives history. We live history. We all, our own lives are history. It sounds more interesting if it's somebody that lived 100 years ago or 200 years ago. But we all, in fact, the original event, Ellie came home from visiting her daughter in Minnesota, and they had gone to a cemetery that was open, save our cemetery right out here, the new one. And if you were a descendant or a relative of somebody that had died there, you brought your lawn chair and your picnic baskets and everything, and you walked from tombstone to tombstone to hear the story of those people that had died and were buried there. Nothing about history, nothing about old people, just the children, grandchildren of the person that had died to keep alive the story of who they were. And so we wanted to do it here, but of course, I have no relatives buried in that cemetery, so we didn't want to limit it to just people who were descendants of the people buried. So we got regular people that volunteered to come out and learn a little bit about the person that is buried there, and then they can tell their life story. And so it's definitely not a ghost haunting type of thing. It's more, come and visit these people that came before us. And of course, we do have people that are descended from somebody that is buried. They're playing their ancestor, their own ancestor, or people that have bought a home that they have researched and found out the information about the people that built their home and tell the story as if they were the builders of some of those old homes. We've had a Louis Bolduc. I don't know that we have, he won't be here this year, I don't believe, but we've got Louis Bolduc, we have a Jacques Board, we have Felix, Odile Valley, not Felix Valley, but Odile Valley is there every year to tell about Felix and herself and their house and everything. So it's a way to learn history right from the horse's mouth.
Boy, what a way to put history.
That's what history is. It's people's story.
That's right.
We all have a story to tell.
That's right.
So, October the 26th, after you have been loup galoued and bousselaged and all of those things,
And?
after you have gone to the Heritage Festival, and there is a lot to see and do at that.
Absolutely.
As it starts to get dark, come up to the cemetery.
Well, first you go home and take a nap.
Well, you have to do that
If you're
because
old.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're old.
Yeah.
Or better yet, you come in, you start in the morning, you spend the whole day, and you go to one of the restaurants for
That's what I was
dinner.
Yes,
saying.
Put your
Right.
feet up, get a glass of wine, and then
Oh,
go
I
to
can
the
just see
cemetery.
them with our feet up on the table.
Restaurant, they won't
Do you have an
care.
approximate time for that to start at cemetery? I mean, is there an approximate time or?
5 to 5:30 will be starting, and whenever you come, it doesn't matter. There's no correct
No.
way to go around. You're at your leisure to go whichever direction you'd care to go.
Well, that's
Some,
nice.
some people head left, some people head right, some people
You
go.
have to give us tickets going here?
That we collect at the door is $5 entry fee. If they're student age, it's $2.50. And we've got, it's amazing how many people we have that come to this event. There are people that from elsewhere that have come and said, I, as a matter of fact, have a relative here. Could I come back and be the spirit next time? So we've increased that way, and we've had cemetery committees from other communities that come and have gone through and done it and said, we want to go home and repeat this, So the idea of this is traveling on and on and on. And in fact, one lady came and she suggested that they had done this already in their cemetery, but they set up a table in the middle of the cemetery and have dinner with the ghosts.
Oh my,
All the ghosts.
that's
We
fun.
haven't quite gotten to that point yet.
Wow.
But it's
So you enter the gates there on?
yeah, Fifth Street.
Fifth Street.
Fifth and Merchant. If you come up Merchant, you're going to dead end right at the cemetery. We'll collect your money and give you a lantern and let you go on to speak to all of the spirits.
Cool.
So,
Well, I hope you both have fun on your Saturday.
With all your French zombies and
well,
I mean,
she's going to do
werewolves.
French. I do everything, French and German and
I know.
Indians and...
You are so
and-
talented.
You are the melting pot.
Exactly, exactly.
And if you don't have a werewolf, I know we could find a dog. Pretend.
We did have a werewolf last time, and I think we could probably
He
get
probably
him.
was wounded though last year.
Yeah, we might have to get him undelivered or something.
I have extra spirits if you need one.
And if anybody has any questions out there in the audience, call in. The number's on the screen now. 883-7675.
And we want to know if our phone's working, so give us a call. And our friend Pat, did you see our friend Pat in the paper?
Yes.
Yes.
I did not.
She donated a letter from what World War?
Well,
That was
from
on
the
the
Civil
paper?
War.
Civil War.
From the Civil War.
Oh,
Yeah.
Down to Cape College.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was
That
an article in the paper last week.
Last week, I did
Yeah.
read that.
So I wanted to
That was pretty
congratulate
interesting.
her.
That was very interesting.
So back to, there I did it again, I got off
That's
the
okay.
track.
That's okay. Pat deserves that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, she does.
So thank you two ladies for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Well, we're certainly glad that you made
And you
our...
can stay if you want to and listen to Lou Miller and her two sidekicks. And look at the smiles on their faces.
They're smaller more than
They're so
Sam.
happy to be here.
Don't miss this, it's really cool.
Yes, it is. It's a wonderful, wonderful day that they put together, World Heritage Days.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And the horses will
First
probably
year
be
one.
here, right? So that's
Yeah.
really exciting.
Well, she brought his collar, but she didn't bring him. I didn't think they want us to.
It's good, Les.
You're gonna have to gain about 1,700 pounds to wear that. So get to work out.
Oh,
But thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you on the 26th.
okay, Lou.
Okay, we're
Miller
here.
has got the floor.
We're here to point out to you that there's one day of the year that you can come and all of these things actually make sense. Just put together, it's not just a hodgepodge. Rural Heritage Day is in its 5th year, and we're really excited about the fact that we've managed to come this far. It gets bigger every year. It has a whole lot of, pays a whole lot of homage to our ancestors. And we cover the period of 1850, so we cover the Civil War antebellum, and all the way up to 1960, which is quite a distance of time.
Wow.
And so you can see things from all of those eras, particularly the old tractors. I think a lot of the people come to see the old tractors, and I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about Lost Acres Tractor Club and your involvement. And the tractor parade. Don't forget the tractor parade.
The tractor parade is at 10 o'clock,
10:30.
10:30, Saturday morning. Leaves the Heritage Day spot, comes up through downtown, Merchant, Main to Merchant,
Yep.
to 3rd.
Just line up along the street in downtown, because I don't know the names of the streets. I just go
It's,
there.
it's pretty fun, it's a lot of fun, the parade is. And then we'll have some old equipment there, a corn sheller, a wheat thresher machine, a corn husker shredder, and a grist mill. We'll take some of the wheat after we thresh it, put it in a mill and grind it into flour. And there'll be a lot of plowing, and then we'll have we made up a little box for kids to grind corn and shell it with grinders, so that'll be something for some kids to do. All kinds of tractors to look at. There'll be plenty of things going on if
And the parade's at 10:30
10:30, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
So as you're heading uptown, the first thing we're going to start talking about is there's a pumpkin pie contest. So we need all of our people who bake pies, particularly good pumpkin pies, to bring a pie. Of course, the prize is the best thing in the world. It's bragging rights. You get a year's worth of bragging rights. Now we have 2 categories of pumpkin pies. One, like the one here on the table, that is
Well,
the
hold it up.
it's
It
the
smells
classic
delicious.
pumpkin pie, like Grandma made straight from a pumpkin. It can't come out of a Libby's can. It's got to come from a pumpkin that you cook down yourself. The other category is anything goes. As long as it's got pumpkin in it, we don't care where it came from. It's just got to have pumpkin in it.
But it has to be a pie.
And it has to be a pie. Last year, one of our adventuresome entrants entered a baked pumpkin pie. It wasn't quite what he thought it would be. So anybody can do it. You don't have to be a girl. That was a guy who entered that one. He won the classic pumpkin pie last year. But Audrey Jokers has won 2 years in a row on the Anything Goes. It's time for somebody to beat her. And if that means one of her family members who I hear might be competing against her this year, that's okay too.
That's a good way to bring friction in a family.
Yeah.
No, because at the end, the nice thing about the pumpkin pie contest is if you're someone in the audience, you might get to be the judge.
Oh.
And then when they're all done, those of you who enter your pumpkin pies have to understand we're going to cut them up and everybody in the audience gets a little piece. And usually we have 40 or 50 people come, but we've always run a little short of pies. So this year, let's inundate every pumpkin lover with pies. And you bring your pumpkin pies to Lions Park between 10 and 11, and the pumpkin pie contest will start at 11. And How are you going to get there? You're going to get there with antique tractor shuttles or horse-drawn shuttles. The horse-drawn shuttles, we always say they're going to start at 9. I'm sorry, I can't get them hitched up that fast. We try, we start at 4 in the morning. Sometimes it just doesn't work as fast as it should. But we do get the horse-drawn shuttles out. The tractor guys have a much better record of getting out on time. I don't know, I guess mine have a little more nag in them to get them out going. But we will have the horse-drawn shuttles going as well. Down at Big Field, you're going to find apple butter. Oh God, the smell of apple butter wafting through the air is just amazing. And they'll be pressing cider. Kids get to help with the cider pressing. I know this because I have a great nephew who's going to be an assistant this year. He just knows he is because he was told last year he could come back this year and help. As Leslie said, we'll have the quilters at the Linden House. There will be multiple crafters downtown as well as the crafters down at Big Field. When you go down to Big Field, you're going to look at the farm type craft. You're going to see the hit and miss engines. You're going to see the blacksmiths, the leather workers, the wagon builders, the butchering. You know, people just didn't go to a store and pull a package off of a refrigerated shelf. There was a little bit of work in that state.
There was no refrigerator.
No, they had ice houses. So when they butchered, they had to be able to preserve that meat. And our group that butchers does some really neat stuff. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to have an 1800s baseball game out on the levee. And we will be adjusting the shuttles to go down to the levee as well, which is why we have the baseball bat and glove, is people need to go down and see this. It will be played under those rules. Now downtown, we will have crafters in all parts of town. We're going to be teaching crocheting and knitting and having our artists who do that knitting will be in Candle Corner. We're going to have chair caning and basket weaving and sweet things. We'll have quilling and old-time movies at the Welcome Center. There's going to be crocheted rag rugs in the Show Me Shop. St. John Winery has a crochet artist who's going to be teaching crocheting and showing some of her wares. And then if your little girls are into prairie dolls, this is the dolls that our ancestors had. If you had a dress that was too torn up to use, you put it into strips and made a baby for your little girl. So down at the end, across from Stella and Me's, she's just opening a new shop, and they will be making prairie dolls. And the first girls that come will get their little dolls for free, but they got to make them with their artist. We're going to have, if the weather cooperates, and you said, Don, we'll make sure that it does? Okay.
Did you listen to that, John?
If the weather cooperates, we will be boiling a beer down at the Spirit House as well.
Go back.
Boiling a beer, making a home brew.
Boiling a beer.
Yeah. And the shops downtown have all really kicked in. We'll have weaving at First Settlement. And the bob and lace at the Mammy Shaw House. And there'll be spinning at O'Deal's. So you can just walk all through downtown and learn all different kinds of crafts while you stroll through our beautiful shops. And then back down to Big Field, we have food. What are we having down at Big Field, Gene?
As far as
food?
Primarily, we'll have sausages and just kind of quick food for the farmers, people working in the fields. They can run over, grab a sandwich, and run back. But the main food's going to be up at the up in the park area. Then we'll have the sausages, kettle beef, ham, hock, and beans,
cornbread,
French fries, hot dogs for the kids.
Cornbread?
Plenty of cornbread.
Cobbler, crisps.
And probably a lot of cookies and a lot of pumpkin pie.
And the extension's going to have apple caramel and apples.
Right, caramel and apples.
Cider.
And we'll be pressing cider, so everyone gets a little taste of the cider as it's pressed.
Yeah, one thing about whenever Rich squeezes the fresh apple juice, you can grab a little cup and taste pure apple juice. And a lot of people go, well, I didn't know it tastes like that. It's not watered
Now,
down.
this is gonna be down the big field.
No, this is
will
up
be
in the
down
park
at
area.
Creole Bed and Breakfast Park
Oh, okay.
area. I call the whole area Big Field and then Uptown.
Where is your sausage and kittle leaf and that gonna be at?
That'll be in the park area.
Okay,
And I call the park area, the field is on the east side and the park area is on the north side. And the reason I call it a park is it's all natural grass. It's,
Is that by Moses Austin that
Yeah.
you're talking about? Back
Okay,
in those
that-
trees back in there where the bridge is at?
yeah.
Okay.
And now at noon, we have the fashion show. And throughout the course of the day, we have something new this year. Back in the 1800s, when the German population first came and started to log the area, they apparently lived in straw houses. And someone found one of the old forms, and I can't remember his name, but he and the FFA kids will be building a straw house throughout the day.
Oh, my goodness.
Apparently, they were incredibly energy efficient, and you could finish one in 8 hours.
Unless you had a
Oh,
wolf.
my God.
Right, unless you had a wolf, and then,
And the 3 piggies.
That's why I had 3 pigs.
so people will be able to watch the construction of an actual home throughout the course of the day. Now, if you're really an early bird and make it up to Lions Club Park so you get the best seat for the tractor parade, we're going to start serving beignets at 9 o'clock with Cajun coffee. And then after that at Lions Park, there's going to be chicken and andouille gumbo, red beans and rice, and muffaletta sandwiches, along with ginger pumpkin cheesecake and s'mores cheesecake.
how early is this?
The beignets start at 9. We'll be frying at 9.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Oh, those are New Orleans.
Beignets
Donuts.
are the French donut.
Okay.
And they really traveled through, the Germans then called them crullers.
Oh, yeah.
And if you go to Café du Monde in New Orleans, it's called a beignet. So here in St. John, it's probably traveled through the ages with multiple different names. But uptown, we're going to be having the French side. But the French who remained after the Germans came would have adapted to the fact that, from what I understand, at one time there was like 5 or 6 Oberle sausages here in St. John, sausage shops, or Oberle meat shops. So the French would have adapted
Oh, yeah.
to the German sausage, and that's kind of what we're going to do, is we're
But
going
they were
to...
all related.
Yeah.
Right, they were all
It
related.
Yeah,
was
but they
just
were in
like
competition with
spin-offs.
each other. Yeah.
Brother against a brother, and
Yeah. I remember 3 different ones that made it.
Well,
When I was
Jack
my
Oberle, I thought,
age.
told me there were 5, but I
Yeah,
could be
no,
wrong.
I mean, when I was growing
Yeah.
up, I'm sure before that there was.
So there's going to be all kinds of activities. There's Civil War games for the children down at the park. Just remember, you can get on the shuttles and take a ride, but the shuttles aren't like getting in a car today, because things move slower, and you get a chance to enjoy the fall air and smell the dirt turning under the tractors and the horses, because there will be multiple teams of horses and mules as well plowing on the other side of the field from the tractors. So our drafters will be in showing you what all of our horses can do out in the field.
Now, where can you pick up the shuttles?
The shuttles will have shuttle stops all through downtown. It'll be marked with a big tower where the shuttle stop is. Each one of the crafters will be marked by a sign outside the shop. And then down at Big Field, the shuttle will go on back on down to the Big Field area and the park. And you can get on there across from the Amarillo House is where we load the shuttles down there.
Oh, okay.
And then when it comes time for the 2 o'clock 1800s baseball game, we'll go ahead and run the shuttles down to the levee, because we'll have to go down Marine Drive, Boulevard, Marina Drive, and then we'll go take you down into the baseball game. Now, we're going to have kettle corn. There's going to be lots of good eats out. You can eat your way through a day. Plus
Well,
the
we need
pumpkin
to
pie
practice.
contest.
I'll
So,
put my walking shoes on and my hat and take a seat, and I'm going.
now we do request a $2 donation for the event, because this is an all-volunteer event. Everyone who works with us does it on their own time, uses their own resources. The tractor guys provide their own fuel. But for us to be able to continue to publicize it, to get people to come in, since we all do it for, donate our services for free, we're asking for a $2 donation to help us with next year's publicity.
And where do you give the donation to? Who?
There will be a gate down, what is the street? I forget the name, Old St. Mary's Road. There will be a gate at each end of Old St. Mary's Road, and they'll give you a green band. And a couple of the businesses downtown told me that they would give a discount for anyone with the green band. So we would really appreciate the donations. It's very important for us to continue an all-volunteer event. And nobody gets paid in this thing. It's all us spending our time and our resources to make sure that people understand how important our ancestors were.
Now, when they make apple butter, do they sell the apple butter?
I was just going to ask that.
Yes, they do,
They do.
but be fast.
Yeah, because
There'll be apple butter for sale.
You're right, but be fast, because as I recall, if you don't run down there pretty quick, it goes pretty quick.
No, I know that I didn't get any last year.
And we'll have
Well, you
how
better be
many?
there early.
Yeah, like I said,
It's hard to bottle the apple butter on site and make it sealed,
Yeah.
And we made some a couple weeks ago, and there'll be apple butter for sale.
and we'll also have, the sorghum press will be up, isn't
And,
it, Al?
yeah, we'll be making fresh molasses sorghum, and it'll be for sale.
And we'll
you can-
also be making
When
homemade
it comes
hominy.
off the cooking pan, it'll be fresh, and we can sell
Hominy.
it.
Oh, I love hominy.
We'll be cooking down hominy from the
Yeah.
field corn and making it into hominy and then frying it in a cast
Oh, I
iron
like
skillet.
hominy.
You haven't tried homemade. Until you try homemade, you don't know.
I haven't had homemade hominy in I don't know how many years.
No, I wonder.
So.
Oh, it's good.
You
It's
can,
good.
I mean, you can look to all kinds of things. If you want to sit down and watch a movie, go to the Welcome Center if you're getting tired. Sit down and watch an old silent movie, Charlie Chaplin, Roy Rogers. We have multiple different, the Bowery Boys.
Beans and ham and cornbread.
Do you have a flyer?
We do have a
That's why I
flyer.
asked where
It's
it was
out in the
at.
shops downtown.
Okay. Is
There's-
somebody posting that on Facebook?
It's already on, isn't it already on Facebook through the Welcome Center?
Okay, but, I mean, as individuals, that would be neat.
I don't know if we posted it on Facebook as an individual. I know that we've had the flyer out for quite some time now. I know that I've had flyers out in Northwest Missouri and Central Missouri.
Now, tell us
I
about
think a
this
lot of,
hat. This hat that I had on a while ago.
Well, along with our fashion show, we have
From when's that
several.
going to be at?
That's at noon. We have several ladies who dress up in authentic clothing from 1850 all the way up to 1960. And it's kind of like Mickey's Spirit Reunion. We're not sure who else is going to show up in their dresses. But this is a reproduction of a 1900 era bonnet. And we will be having the fashion show, and then if you ever wanted to know what was underneath those Victorian dresses, that's going to be your time to find out what those bustles look like and the corsets look like.
Just be grateful that we don't have to wear all those clothes anymore.
That's no joke.
especially in the summer.
Oh,
No,
Anytime.
where is the fashion show going to be
The
at?
fashion show will be down at the park,
At the
on the
park.
stage at the park.
Okay.
So we should have music uptown, we'll have crafters uptown. You need to just spend the whole day moving back and forth all through St. Genevieve to enjoy the
That's what I
beauty of
said,
our
maybe for
history.
breakfast. I'll bring everything along so I can stay today.
Yep, just plan on staying the day from 9 until 5. We close down at 5. And it's definitely a family event. And if I missed the Hit and Miss Engine and homemade ice cream with the Hit and Miss Engine.
Oh, that was here for one of the Jody Fest.
Right,
In the
and
corner down there.
so he will be back with his Hit and Miss ice cream. We have Hit and Miss Engines, we have a pumpkin patch. There's too many things to mention, everything that will
what
be
is
there.
a hidden
keep
miss
going.
ice cream?
The Hit and Miss engines are the early engines that didn't cycle regularly like our car engines
They
do
go
now.
boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, and, but they still managed to turn wheels and do widgets. It was part of the early innovation of engines. And a lot of these guys have rebuilt them and got them back to working on their same at the same manner that they did when they were first designed.
And they make ice cream?
He uses it to turn the wheels, to spin the paddle, inside of the ice cream, and he just adds the ice to it, and the engine turns the paddle. You can do it with horses too.
And
But-
last year, there was, one of your neighbors had a hit and miss engine that powered a washing machine.
Right.
Oh, really?
And we have to, I forgot about the gentleman who brings his Maytag
Yeah.
collection. Did y'all know that Maytag had a meat grinding attachment for your washing machine?
No, I did not know that.
A
Yes.
meat grinder.
It had multiple attachments, multiple
That
attachments.
poor
And
woman.
what year?
You know what? That
You'll have
was
to come and
horrible
talk
when you
to our
think about
Maytag
it.
gentleman.
Not only did she have to grind all the meat, wash the clothes, and
But just
Oh,
think
my
about it, at
God.
least you didn't have to grind it with a counter grinder.
And go to the creek and,
boy,
rock
I'm so
struggle.
glad we don't live in those days.
The good old days.
Good old days.
The thing is, though, is when you see all of this, it gives us so much respect and love and admiration for those people who came before us.
right.
It's definitely a celebration of a time that you didn't go to the store every 15 minutes. You maybe went once a month, because to get on a horse-drawn shuttle down by Bigfield and go uptown is 15 to 20 minutes. Now, in a car, it would be a minute to 2 minutes. It gives us a chance to slow down for one day and really appreciate what came before us, or maybe envy it.
Oh, I can remember back when my grandparents didn't have a refrigerator, and they would butcher, and they'd have pork sausage, and they'd cook the pork sausage and put it in a jar and pour grease on it and seal it.
And Canada.
And boy, in the wintertime, opening a jar of that, and, oh.
Yeah, we forget about the fact that they didn't have fresh vegetables in the winter. Everything from the garden was canned.
Yep.
My mother talks about what my grandmother called end of the garden
Yeah,
relish.
and mix it all together.
And they would put it all together, and she said she could not wait for Christmas because that would be when it was pickled. And by the time it was done, they would open the lid for Christmas dinner, and it was crunchy and it
It was out of this world.
was,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it tasted so wonderful. And several years I canned into the garden relish with my mother. And it's one of those things that, unless you really think about it, if you hadn't had anything fresh and green and crunchy,
Yeah, which we take for granted.
we take for granted. And this is a day where we can maybe let people see that we don't want them to forget. So we hope that everyone will come. I think they'll love it. I think that they will have as much trouble trying to get to see everything as we do.
This is the 26th, I'll have to start resting up.
This is the 26th. But remember, there's shuttles. You can get on the shuttles.
Yeah, but I live way down here on Market Street, so I have to drive someplace.
Well, the Boy Scouts help us, and they park down at Gabourey Park. And so the Boy Scouts will park you down there, we stop a shuttle right there, you get on, off we go to an adventuresome day.
That's it.
Yeah,
My
sounds
king, my
real-
walking shoes.
Just give them $10 and stay on it, just run around.
I think this year we're having soap making too,
Oh, cool.
and anybody who has,
Lysol?
is she making mine?
Lysol.
She's making mine?
Oh, good, because I want some.
Without all that perfume stuff in it, natural,
No, it's all Lysol.
yeah.
Not
I get
that-
Lysol
Not that
every year
perfume
because
and all
that
that.
Lysol was what, if you go out in the yard and you're with a lot of vines, go in the house and wash it
Yes,
down with
right.
Lysol.
And
you
you're
won't
not gonna get
poison
poison
ivy.
ivy.
And also, it's really good to get grease out of clothes.
Mhm.
Black grease, any kind of grease.
I make sure I got 2 bars of Lysol all year.
If your
Well, you
husband's
know where to
out
get
a
it
grease
this year.
monkey, it
I'm
sure
going to,
takes
because
it out.
I need one. I'm
And-
down
You
to the last.
insinuating your husband's a
He was, he
grease
isn't no
monkey?
more, but he
Oh.
was.
And we have people who bring honey.
Yeah.
And
And it's natural honey
Mhm.
from,
Oh, my God.
And they
I have
talk
to go to
about,
bank and get it.
using honey and where it comes from. A lot of our crafters are there to tell the story. This is a day of stories. I like to call it, for our crafters, stories at Grandma's knee. We'll have spinners both uptown and down at the park. We'll have leather workers, and anything you want to ask, you can. Over at Big Field with the horses, we'll have Neil DeVazier, who is the president of the Missouri Draft and Mule Association, and he'll be doing horse tales. So the kids can go down and talk horses with Neil.
Oh, that's neat.
And hopefully we can let them sit on the plows and see what it was like.
Now, you brought a horse collar.
Yeah, that's for a little horse.
Oh, okay.
That
Did you say a while ago, 1700 pounds?
probably, that fits my 1,700 pound Frisian. But my 2,200 pound Percheron couldn't even get her cheeks through that.
Now, what's underneath there? It's a round,
Oh, that's just part of just to raise it up.
oh, okay.
It's a riser.
It's a riser. And we got the appropriate tractor there, the Farmall.
And what's the little black hat?
The little black hat goes with one of the Victorian dresses. Look for Sandra
Is that sort
Cabot.
of the dress type hat?
That would be the uptown ladies. We'll have country
Wait,
ladies.
is this a downtown lady and that's uptown?
Yep,
So those are rich people.
that would be the wealthy people. So we have both areas. We have the prairie dresses that'll be there,
Let me
and
try the rich lady.
and we'll have, this is Sandra Cabot's hat for this year.
I want to try the rich lady.
Did she make that also?
My niece did.
Perfect.
The other one.
Would you like your hat pinned to put it on with?
Well,
Oh, my,
I would hate to say what I would do with that pin.
That is.
That's
That
a
is
beautiful
pretty.
hat, though.
I
And
thought that was kind of for the fancier.
that's for the uptown ladies, and the uptown ladies will be dressed, but they will stroll back and forth from uptown to downtown. The
I think that's neat.
display of fashion will be down at the park, because a lot of people during their lunch like to sit and watch her disrobe. As we say, down to her frilly bits, which are more than most of us wear
Well, that's for sure.
today.
So everybody come out, and it's the
26.
26th of October, and it starts at
9 a.m.
9 a.m. with a parade
The parade's at
at
10:30.
10:30.
You gotta get your beignets so you're up
Okay, you
for
have to
the,
go
Yeah,
eat.
so I said we have to go for
You have to
breakfast
go
first.
eat, and then you can watch the parade.
right,
Gotta go for
while you
breakfast
digest. But you gotta bring your pie in it before 10, you know.
Before 10.
Before
between
10?
Between 10 and 11, drop it off at Lions Park.
Okay, I got before 10, so.
Yeah. So
And just spend the whole day.
spend the whole day, because there's nothing that's gonna be, if you get tired of the farming park, go to the town park.
Go to one of those tables and prop your feet up and have
That's
a glass
right.
of wine.
And just
That's right.
rest.
And just rest.
Get ham and beans and our cornbread.
Yep.
Watch a movie. Because we have all different kinds of movies. You can take your pick if you want silent or from the very beginning all the way up to the 1960s.
Yeah, the ham and beans is all gonna be down in the big field or in the
Right.
park area?
Yeah.
And the Cajun stuff will be in Lions Park uptown.
Okay.
They said they found one of the movies that silent movie star, she was Mary Pickford,
Mary Pickford?
that had never been shown ever. And they found it in a desk drawer.
And that's gonna be shown?
No,
Oh.
no. And they were talking about it. They said how much it was valued at. It was ridiculous. And I thought, they don't even talk in it. Why?
Because it was the first,
Because you had to do so much expression when you couldn't talk. When there's no voice, there had to be so much acting. But we have everything. How many of you remember Shirley Temple?
Oh, my Lord.
We have a whole barrage of Shirley Temple movies. So you can go in and
Good
ask.
Ship Lollipop.
Got that one? So, if you're just tired and want to sit down, the Misselhorn Gallery will become our old-timey movie theater.
Oh, okay.
So for one day, it's going to go back to
To be in the
a
theater.
theater.
Yeah.
We're going to leave the etchings up, but we're going to also have a screen out.
Well, thank you very, very much, gentlemen, and Miss Lou.
Jean, you didn't say anything hardly.
Well, and thanks again to all of our volunteers. We can't even say thank you enough to all of our volunteers.
And how many people actually do you think are involved?
Last year, when I was figuring out, I was estimating that total with the gentlemen with their tractors and all of the people who come to help with the horses, there was probably close to 400 volunteers
Isn't that
between the Boy
wonderful?
Scouts.
Yeah.
It
It's
is,
really
and
great. yeah.
it's remarkable that everybody gives of their free time.
Right.
And, you know, people pitch in the straw for the straw house. People pitch in their time to develop it. We can't say thank you enough. And this year we have some sponsors that have helped us, and we really want to thank them for their monetary donations to help us put our stuff together.
Very good.
And the neat thing about this event, it's for kids all the way up to big old kids. It brings out the kid in you.
The only difference in a kid is the price they're taught. Right, guys, with your tractors?
Oh,
That's
those
right.
boys getting those tractors and they're out there plowing, they're happy as they can
Oh,
be.
yes,
It is.
yes,
And the guys with the horses plowing, they just love it.
yeah.
And you walk around watching the events of what's going on, people go, yeah, and they smile.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
if you stop and talk to the guys plowing with their tractors or the horses, they'll have a story about their dad, or they'll have a story
Yeah.
about why they have their tractor. Or if you're going through the streets with the shuttles, you'll stop at a shuttle stop. I'll stop with the horse and they'll go, no, there's this orange tractor coming, and my grandpa had one just like that. And I need to ride on that
Yeah.
one.
But the event brings the kid out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like,
And that's great.
when you talk about tractors, the only tractor that my family owned was a John Deere tractor.
Well, that's the only thing you can
That's the
have.
only tractor.
Yeah, you gotta have a John
And I
Deere.
just had to laugh because when one of our friends has got your farm.
I grew up driving an old iron-wheeled Cyrus McCormick.
Did you really?
My dad kept that baby
That
running.
thing was so neat.
Yeah, it was the old iron-wheeled Cyrus McCormick from the early 1900s.
And now I go and look, and some of our friends have got big farms and stuff down south.
Takes no
They
skill.
have these
They're
air
as big as this room.
conditioned, air conditioned, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and they say they're working. Dang.
But they have GPS now. They
Well, yeah,
just
and they have-
program in the
They have a
GPS
television in there and air conditioning, and
stereo.
And
I
it's
said,
as
do you
big-
have a bathroom yet in there?
Things have
Come up
come
with
a
that
long
yet.
way.
It's
They
amazing.
certainly have.
And it's a lot easier now. I have a 1969 tractor that has power steering, which I grew up, the newest tractor that my dad and I grew up, that I farmed with my dad, was a 1952.
And it had the hard-to-turn wheel.
Oh, yeah, I got some muscle.
Log wagon, yeah.
That's where you got your muscles.
Yeah.
These, some of this equipment we got, like the corn sheller, or the corn husker, I think it's from the early 40s, late 30s, early 40s. And the mill that will grind the wheat to make the flour is from the 20s.
From the 20.
Yeah.
And we have an old International Lister horse-drawn coming in, because International made horse-drawn equipment prior to developing the tractor. But we have an International Lister coming in that's horse-drawn. I hate to say it, but my dad grew up plowing on a John Deere plow, and I have that same plow that I plow with,
It's for
that my
sale.
dad grew up.
You wanna sell it?
No, you can't have that one.
Darn it.
It was, my grandpa bought it in 1920, used at a farm sale for $2.
I'll give you 4.
However, because my dad and his brothers did not like John Deere, even though it's a John Deere Highboy, they changed it to the seat to a Parlin and Orndorff, which was the predecessor of McCormick Deering. So nobody knew they had a John Deere.
I know what my grandfather was.
So it has a Parlin and Orndorff
I got an old
seat.
plow that was my grandfather's, and it.
You got a horse to
old
pull
hand-
it?
no,
Yeah, it's a
it-
walking-
oh, it's
You come
a
down,
old hand-
Mary Ann, you come down, we'll put you on a tractor.
Yeah, well,
Back-
We'll send you across the field with a plow.
I don't
don't understand sometimes why everybody wants to
on
help me.
Marianne.
They're so helpful, Mary.
I know.
You come down and we'll
It's
feed you
because
pumpkin,
you are so
pumpkin
jolly.
ginger cheesecake.
Do what?
You come down to
Oh,
Lions
that sounds
Park and we'll give you ginger pumpkin cheesecake.
I just want regular pumpkin pie.
Well, come to the pumpkin pie contest and be
I'm
a
making
judge.
pumpkin cheesecake pie.
See? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I always make.
We'll have an entry then. And I don't think my nephew is making the bacon pumpkin pie again, but he's got something new up his sleeve.
Well, I want to tell you something. If
I'm hoping to make it.
I don't understand all this bacon stuff. These bacon donuts.
Bacon donuts. what do you
Yeah,
mean?
there's a place in St. Louis now
It's
that
got bacon in it?
that makes bacon donuts. And I said, you know,
Meat candy.
I
Donuts
just
are fat
don't like
enough
the
without
idea.
bacon.
A donut to me is something sweet.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And it's not got bacon. Bacon goes with eggs.
I don't want bacon in my donuts. I want my old
Me
fashioned
neither.
donut.
Well,
And
come
that's-
and get a beignet in the morning. That's just a big puff
I know.
of raised dough.
Well, thank you guys very much for being here, and I hope Don keeps the weather nice for you.
I'm sure he will.
I know he will. And, okay, Iris, what we got coming up?
Okay, our next show, we're gonna have Diane Wilson, and she does 3D art with photography, and it's built out, and she's gonna bring some examples of it, and she's started doing pets, which everybody loves. Prior, she did flowers and that type of things, and she's got a lot of the old buildings in town that she's made, and it's really a cool form of art. And Paul Cameron is going to be here in costume with and talk about the Civil War era.
And the kids will, at Heritage Day, will get a chance to reenact some of that too with the Civil War. They get to
Really?
learn how to shoulder arms. So that should tie
Fit
right in.
Yeah, yeah, so,
We love our Civil War reenactors.
Oh, yeah.
and Paul is going, I think he's going to go to another city, and they're having a reunion or something. He's going to perform at there, or talk there too. And he has a lot of sketchbooks with Civil War things. He's very talented.
So that is on
That'll be
the-
on October 23rd.
Okay, and then this Sunday, up at the St. John Performing Arts Center, they're going to have a piano recital with Dr. Mark Spurrier. And it starts at 2 p.m. and tickets are $15,
It's sponsored by the hospital.
and it's sponsored by the Hospital Auxiliary. So if you don't have anything to do on Sunday afternoon, go on down to up to the piano recital. It's going to be very good, very good, 2 o'clock.
And the Performing Arts Building, there is no.
There's no
there are
bad
no
seat,
bad
no
seat.
place in that
It is
building.
just awesome.
Perfect.
What is wonderful
Wonderful
about it
place.
is you do not
Have to get
have to get up
When people
to
will,
let people in and out of the seats.
yes, they're very, very comfortable.
You can sit,
Feels like
sit with your feet out and people will walk right by you. You don't have to move.
And on Saturday, Cheryl Swope, who wrote Simply Classical, she was on our show last week, so if anybody missed our show, they can go on stjohntv.com, click on Videos on Demand, on the pull down, when it comes down, do What's New, and select October the 9th, is that when she's here?
Yes.
Select October the 9th and watch it. It was really a wonderful show.
No, it
She's a
wasn't
great
October
speaker.
9th. Today is October 9th.
Oh, today's October 9th. It was September, wait a minute, we'll get it. Anyway, she's going to be signing her book on
September 25th.
September 25th, sorry about that. I never get anything straight.
No.
Okay, on this Saturday, she's going to be out at the St. Genevieve County Library for a book signing from 10:30 to 2:30. And she's going to read a little bit of her book at 11 o'clock. And this book is really wonderful. I have it and I started reading it, and you can't put it down. It's about educating. First of all, it tells a story about the family and why she wrote the book and all that. and it's for special needs, Christian education, homeschooling, liberal arts, and family. And it tells about how to educate special needs children. And she's very, just a wonderful book. So if anybody is interested in going out there Saturday, she'd sure appreciate everybody to come and
You
listen
can
to
find
her.
all kinds of fun things to do in St. Jan.
That's for sure.
Every weekend or something.
And what do we have coming up then on our November
On
show?
the November 13th show, we have a group of young ladies who have been, well, Mickey Ketting, who was our guest tonight, they're her nieces and friends, and they started knitting, 2 years ago
Yes.
maybe, or something like that. And they were supposed to be on our show many times, but everything happened where they couldn't, so November the 13th, they're going to be on with their crafts, their jewelry, and their knitting. They're young, are
They're
they
just
even
young.
teenagers
I
yet?
don't think some of them are.
No, they're just young children, youth.
Young artists.
Right.
Yeah.
Learning an old-time craft.
And Mickey's going to bring some of her crafts too, which she does a wonderful job.
She's
Knitting, jewelry making.
She's multi-talented.
Very much multi-talented. So we have nice shows coming up and a lot of interesting things going on in St. Genevieve. And you had one too, Marianne, that you
Oh.
wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah, there's coming up in October the 23rd, no,
Give us the kids. No.
that's the wrong one.
Basketball?
Oh, it's the soccer thing. The St. Gen, it's the case, the St. Genevieve Knights of Columbus and Bloomingdale Columbus, they have a soccer thing that they've got coming up in October. And I lost my notes. Sorry about that. No, I got them.
She found them. We're good because we're old.
We're really good. You gotta forget these senior moments. October the 20th, it's the St. Genevieve Knights of Columbus. They present the St. Genevieve, Bloomsdale, it's St. Genevieve and Bloomsdale, KC, Soccer Challenge, and it's at 1 p.m., October the 20th, at the St. Genevieve City Park. And that's for boys and girls aged 10 to 14 as of September the 1st, 2013, they are eligible. And if you need any information, call Annette Roth, 535-2500. But it's a neat little thing for the kids if they're for soccer, because soccer's beginning to be a thing now.
Okay, and next Wednesday, from 3 to 5, we have our youth clean air painters. So anybody that wants to kind of see what they're up to, it's Valley, St. John, homeschool, anybody that wants to participate. And it's down to Mammy Shaw House, and they have like a 360-degree view where they can paint anything they want. And we get some really interesting paintings. We have this every year, and the kids are from 4 to 18. We usually have 30 or 40 kids that participate in it. And then the local art guild, the artists judge, and the kids get Best of Show, there's one of those, and there's 4 first place, 4 second place, 4 third place, and we give them nice big medals with the ribbon, with the red,
And
the
that's
blue and
whole
white ribbons.
school.
It's
Whole
both,
school.
it's the whole county.
Yeah.
Homeschool, St. John, and Valley kids. And we have equal participation from the schools. It's really a wonderful event. And the teachers of Valley and St. John cooperate. Angie Dalton and I kind of halfway organize it, and John Otto and Jamie at St. John, they help get the word out to St. John, and we get out to Valley, and the kids have a really good time. They look forward to it. And we try to do it in the spring and fall, but some years we only get one time in. So that'll be happening. So all you parents, send your kids. They can sign up right down there after school at 3 o'clock. You don't have to pre-sign if you want to. Both schools have applications, and the homeschoolers will have them at the Welcome Center, where they can pick them up there if they're interested in doing that. And let's see, I think that's all I have.
So we want to thank you for listening tonight, and tune us in 2 weeks.
And look at all this good stuff that you can see for Heritage Day, and it's going to be awesome.
Right.
Full day.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Oh, on Saturday,
Is
the
it time to have the
19th.
pie now?
Yeah, we sure can. We can eat it with our fingers. On Saturday, the 19th is also the plein air. That's from 10 to 12 for the youth. So we have it 2 days, and they have 2 hours to complete these pictures. And they're really neat what they produce.
Oh, yeah.
I'm anxious to see the old time baseball game.
There we are.
There you go.
There's so much fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So much fun stuff.
From all the stuff you said, it's gonna be a
I like those dolls.
terrific day.
Oh, I
I
know.
didn't get to
They are
go.
really
Well, this is gonna be
You'll
my
never
first
see
time,
everything
and
in
I'm
one
gonna
day.
Be there.
It's a very packed day.
Sounds like a really fun day.
It does.
Yeah.
They
So,
put a lot of work into it.
Oh my gosh, you know it.
okay, so we got the spirit reunion, we have the French stuff I can't pronounce at the Boulder House, and the quilt show on the
It's
fence.
straw, mud, and animal hair.
They're gonna
Yeah.
stick that in
In
a
the
wall.
walls.
Yeah. And then we have the Heritage Day, so we have a really full day on October 26th. So
So
everybody
Donna,
come
you're
out.
gonna take us off the air
Goodbye,
now?
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. And
Thank you guys for inviting us.
Hi, thank you for watching Channel 798.
Thank you for watching Channel 7 and 98.
Hi, thank you very much for watching Channel 798.